There was a little pavilion there.
So your sister actually played?
Yeah.
Yes.
We had a conversation with her. She was in Birmingham, so we went through one or two things, and
That's where that little
She
girl-
remembered playing.
They were both trying to remember. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm
Very-
from Birmingham, so...
Oh, are you?
Yes.
Yeah, she lives in Yardley.
Oh, yes.
We
I
take
know
her out
Yardley.
every few weeks. Yeah.
So you paid your membership, presumably?
well, I
and-
didn't, but
Jan
Jan did, yeah.
And how many other brothers and sisters did
Only
you
got
have living there?
one sister.
Right. So you weren't in one of these overcrowded...
Not well. Actually, I wouldn't have stood it. The state it was in. Dreadful, it really was.
So how many other rooms other than the shop bit itself did you have in your little house?
Well, we were obviously over the shop in one part, and like Margaret just said to you, the original people, I don't know about the original, but the people before Mama used to have it as a cafe, one room, the bedroom upstairs. So, and they used to have these youngsters use it like they do nowadays in these, what do you call them, coffee
Coffee
bars.
shop.
Right.
So
Tea room.
tea room, yeah.
Mm.
That was just the one room there, and then there was two lots of stairs going to in this property, but they were getting so rickety. And when eventually they started knocking the buildings down all around,
Can you remember when that was? Roughly.
well, so
Were you a teenager then?
I'm getting on a little bit. So I'm 82 now, so that takes a bit of matter.
So you were born in 28?
That's right.
Because that's the same as my dad.
Yeah.
This is how I knew this so easily. My dad is
I thought you were very
82.
good at
Oh.
maths.
No, my dad is 82 and he was born in 1928.
Yes,
That's
so,
me, yeah.
that's right.
yeah, so if you were late teens...
Well, we were 7 when we moved there, like I say, from Stanley Road,
Yeah.
down to move into the place.
Then you moved to the shop in on the Ratcliffe Road estate.
That was
So how old would you be then, do you think? 20, would you?
must be in that area. I can't quite remember. All these dates go by, you don't know.
No. Because sadly Ken's mother died, didn't she?
Yes, she
I
did.
never met her. Sounded a really nice lady.
Yes, you're
Had a
right.
brain tumour, didn't she?
Mm,
And you weren't very old, you tell me, about 17, were you?
maybe a
then?
bit more than that,
Were you?
about 20.
Mm.
So were they demolished during the Second World War
No,
or
no.
after? Or
After.
No,
After.
that's so, yeah.
Because that was up to 44, wasn't it?
Mm.
Well, 44,
Mm.
Yeah.
45 as with the
45,
bits
yeah.
going on after. And
But Ken was recovering from a very severe illness.
That was later on, Margaret.
Yes,
yes.
but you were still at that shop, weren't
Oh,
you?
yeah.
I'm trying to see how old you
Mm.
were when they moved you for the slum clearance.
Oh, Mr. Have you heard of Mr. Margosius?
yes, I've
and
heard
Mr.
the name.
Acton? They came round and said, we can't have you living in this property any longer. And that was after all the others had been knocked down, and we left us a little island at the top of such and next door as well. It was a dreadful place, really.
Mm. But can you remember how old you might have been then, when you moved to the new shop?
24, perhaps.
24, so it's quite a long time. Mm.
And then they moved you out to Ratcliffe Road.
Yeah, Sheep Road.
He was offered
Sheep.
another business
Because they were
premises.
knocking this one.
Yeah.
They had to offer us
An alternative.
Yes.
alternative, a slum
Mm.
clearance, yeah.
So you had a choice, a bit of a choice.
Not really.
Not really.
It wasn't a perfect swap either, because there's 4 shops down there, and they would allowed them to joint things. Not one shop for this and one shop for that. In the main, I mean, the butcher was a butcher, and
The hairdresser was a hairdresser.
yeah, but the rest were mingled.
So there's nobody could have a proper
It wasn't
business
it
because
wasn't a good enough
knows.
living there, but we got by.
Right. So where were you? You were Ramyard, which is where the library
Is now,
is
yeah.
now. So what yards were by you?
Well, the other half of Ramyard, well, Johnson's had the little shop at the front, which is more where the library is, not bloody where. And they used to repair bikes. Quite an elderly gentleman, and he had an allotment where he brought bed implants and sold the bed implants at the front of the shop.
Right.
The other way was, I've forgotten the name of it.
Where the memorial.
Yeah,
Hall
you're going
is
further
now.
down, there's quite a few yards.
Was Garden Yard one?
Garden Row was where the memorial is, yeah.
Yeah.
Garden Row.
Yeah. What was I say? We had people, Mrs. Spragg lived next door in the next yard along. I've forgotten the name of it, quite honestly.
It's a long time ago.
Is it?
I have trouble remembering last week's. Any other names or incidents you
Yeah.
can remember?
And then after her, going down, was Broadhurst.
Was that in Garden Row?
No, there's 2 or 3 yards down there.
All off Long Street.
Yeah.
was it?
Jones was another. Time goes by, you forget.
Yeah.
I
names.
Yes, you
know, I
do.
know. Are there any sort of occasions, special occasions that you remember where people got together, like a jubilee or a celebration or anything like that, where they had a bit of a party in the yard?
Garden Row used to, every so often, to celebrate, like you're saying, they used to decorate the Garden Row, which was it wasn't a narrow entry like the other yards, it was quite a wide one, where there was room to have goings on, you know.
Yeah, yeah.
They used to decorate the yard and with flowers and things like that. But the same principle happened next door with Spraggs and the others. They had the garden at the top, which belonged to none of them in the yards used. There was an orchard in this one next door to us. But that was, I've forgotten the name of that now.
But the kids didn't try and get in there or anything?
Well, the chappie kept close.
God.
There weren't enough overhanging branches to...
There was an outside, that's why I had a piece of wire with a hook on the end.
So you with the scrumper.
So what did you scrump from there?
Plums.
Plums.
He's always looking.
If you're careful, you can pull them off without them
Noticing the branch swaying. What would you have done if he'd caught you?
Well, get quiet. I think whether he was a Goodger or not. Quite a few Goodgers in that area.
What's a Goodyer?
The name of the people.
Oh right, the actual family name.
Yeah.
Okay. I wondered if it was a strange job.
No. No.
Well, yes, it sounds
It does,
like
doesn't
a
it? Make a hole in something.
doesn't it? A good job. Who had a goat? Well, I'm sure there was something about
Spraggs.
a goat in a window in the house.
Flags had all all the animals.
Menagerie.
And he had racing pigeons as well, which was next door the garden to us. That didn't cause too much trouble. The only trouble was, occasionally, we'd find a racing pigeon in our house that our cat had brought in.
Oh dear, didn't quite make it to the loft in
It
time.
didn't kill them.
Oh.
Just played.
They just brought it in.
Oh, that's all
I
right.
had to, then I'd have to wait for the opportune moment to push it back over.
So what other pets did they have apart from the
All
goat?
racing dogs, greyhounds, they used to have shares in greyhounds, and they used to exercise them for the greyhound track.
So what greyhound
Yeah.
track did they go to for that?
Hinkley, I think.
Oh,
it was.
Hinkley,
Yeah.
of course, yeah. So they used to train them,
Mm,
give
by
them some
exer-
exercise.
By exercise, yeah.
Yeah. Mm.
Any rabbits or?
I can't remember what that's. We didn't have any rabbits. I haven't got time with them. I'm in the shop all the while.
In and out,
And
I
they-
suppose.
I mean, Dad was working at the local colliery all this while as well.
Which colliery was your dad at?
Cooley Hall, Polesworth.
Right.
And he was a driver, a train
Locomotive
driver, an engine
driver.
driver. He did all the shunting of the carriages along from the pit down to the wharf at back, down Grant, you know. They used to have a level crossing at down by what's it?
The A5.
A5,
the roundabout,
yeah.
Yeah.
yes.
And every so often when
Was that the Paddy line?
yeah,
Yes,
that's
yeah.
it been,
I've been a walk along there. this
Yes,
morning.
I've been a walk down
Yes.
there. Yes,
Right.
because that's all that's left of it now.
Yeah.
Isn't
It is out, but when I came, I remember that level crossing, having to stop, you know, because I came as a nurse. I was there how many years ago? Anyway,
Oh.
that's beside the point.
So your dad actually drove the train
Oh, he
down
Across,
up
drove
and
it. Yeah.
yes,
and shunting the
to the wharf,
carriages
canal
to the
wharf.
wharf, yeah. And when the train was due to come across the A5, which wasn't as busy as it is now, of course, used to be a man with a big flag standing on
stopping
the road,
the traffic.
stopping the traffic, yeah.
So how did your dad get to work in the morning? Just
Biking,
walk? Bike?
cycling, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, because it's not the cars that you jump into now, is
No.
there?
And
But
then,
everyone was fitter, weren't they?
And
I
then-
thought nothing of it.
and then coming to the ward, there was petrol rationing.
Yes, yeah.
We
Your
were,
dad had a car, didn't
well,
he?
we were
He was
fortunate to have a
one
car,
of
yeah.
the very first few people to
Oh, excuse me.
have a car, wasn't he?
Only an old Ford, a banger,
Yeah.
but he used to go to work on his bike because the petrol wouldn't go stretched to
Yeah.
with the ration then.
Did you ever go on family holidays?
Oh yeah, we
Yes.
always managed that
Yeah,
on the train.
yeah.
We had,
Well, you weren't too far from the train station,
no,
were you?
just straight down the road.
Bit better and easier to get on than it is now.
Oh yeah, and the journeys were a lot longer. Obviously, steam trains, and you had to wait.
Slower.
But we went.
Before Mr. Beeching, you could go anywhere,
Yeah,
to villages, you know, you could get anywhere. It was
Yeah.
wonderful.
Yeah.
He wrecked it all.
So you would have seen the engines and the smoke going past, wouldn't you, from the front of your shop?
not quite. No, but I do know about them because my dad used to take me occasionally to his works and he used to have some bacon on a shovel.
Right in the.
Right in the.
Yes, they did,
in-
didn't they?
Because they were all,
And eggs and bacon.
they were all fired. You know,
Yeah, put it on the
coal
on the
fired.
shovel and stick it
Yeah.
in the flame in the heat.
Yeah,
So you were on the plate then. Did
yeah.
you let you stand up there and?
No, not move much. And he showed me the pit head, which frightened me to death when I saw the.
The whole.